Hi there, my name is Monica and today we're going to be talking about how to do great in a listening exam. If you're interested, keep on watching. It is obvious that in order to get great results in any listening test, you need to do your groundwork in advance. It's a type of test that you cannot really simply study the day before and hope for the best, but instead it's something that you really need to prepare to and you really need to practice in order to do great when the day comes. But instead, it's something that you need to prepare little by little, and all that practice is going to really help you when the day comes. What can you do? Here are a few ideas. Number one, you can watch your favorite TV shows or films in English with subtitles or without subtitles. Number two, listen to radio programs and podcasts in English. Number three, listen to your favorite music in English with lyrics. Number four, do language exchanges with English-speaking people. Number five, listen to audiobooks anytime that you have the chance. For example, doing exercise, cleaning your house, or walking the dog. As we said earlier, listening is not a skill that you get better at all of a sudden. It's something that you need to prepare to, and then you need to be ready for when the day comes. But then imagine that the day comes, and then you go, and now what? What do I do? Today in this video, we are going to concentrate on tips and tricks that will help you do a great listening exam. Picture yourself in the classroom with a listening paper in front of you. What do? Tip number one, read your paper carefully. Well, you might think, well, Monica, duh, obviously I'm going to read my paper. Well, let me tell you this, you will be so surprised to hear how many people don't read their paper, or they do it in a very fast way without paying attention. Okay, so it's super important that you read the paper actively. Okay, what do I mean by that? Read the paper doing some action, and the action that you need to do is hold your pen, okay, and start reading the information, marking, signaling, labeling, underline those important keywords that will help you identify the right answer. For example, if the activity is telling you that you need to fill in the gaps with maybe one or maybe maximum 2 words, okay? Do not make the mistake of writing 3 words, okay? So when you are reading the activity, underline that piece of information, the one that is telling you, pay attention, okay? Write only 1 or 2 words. That's the important part of the activity, and you need to identify it and mark it. Number 2, use your reading time wisely. Before you start listening, you will be given some minutes to read the whole activity before you start. Do not waste that precious time. You would be shocked and surprised to know how many of my students start using that precious, valuable time just checking the ceiling, looking through the window, checking their time, checking their nails, whatever, instead of focusing on the paper that they have in front of them. That is so important. So make sure that you use that time wisely. Those minutes are golden. They are gold, and they're gonna help you get the best grade possible if you really make use of it. Okay, so do not waste those precious minutes. Number 3 is anticipate possible answers. So if you have, for example, a type of activity that is filling the gaps, okay, try to do some work in advance while you're reading it, okay? So for example, if you have, I play tennis times a week, okay, obviously you anticipate that the type of word that you are missing is a number, and obviously you won't be able to write a verb or maybe a country, okay? So try to pay attention when the listening starts and look for those numbers that you are expecting, okay? The same happens, for instance, if you have to fill in an example that says, I love ta-ta-ta with my family, okay? So obviously the type of word that you are being asked is an activity or a verb. So again, pay super close attention, so be alert and look for those type of words that you are being asked. Number 4 is eliminate the odd one out. When you have a multiple choice question, okay, the one that you have to select A, B, or C, okay, you might feel, oh, now what? I mean, the three options are possible. I don't know which one to choose, which is right. I'm not sure, okay? But let me tell you a secret. Out of the three answers, there is always one that is less likely to be the correct one. And it's always between the other two that we are going to doubt, okay? So try to identify the odd one out, the incorrect one, and rule it out, cross it out. So it's easier for you to decide between one or the other one. So statistically speaking, it's easier and it's more likely to get it right when you have only two options than obviously if you have three. Tip number 5 is do not write your answers with pencil. Okay, so when you're doing the listening test, it's very tempting to write everything with pencil just in case you change your mind and you can erase the information and do it again at the end of the test. But be careful because normally you don't have enough time to do that, okay? So my advice is write everything straight away with a pen, okay? And if you make mistakes, it's okay, don't worry. You can cross it out, okay? Write across as long as everything is clear at the end and the final answer is visible, you will have no problems, okay? But many times students are surprised because when the time finishes, they just need to give their paper away and they haven't even finished and they go, no, just give me two minutes, 3 minutes. I need to put it in pen and you won't have time, okay? So make sure you use your pen straight away. Number 6 is don't expect to understand everything the first time. So in every listening, you are normally gonna be given 2 or 3 times to listen to the audio. And guess what? The first time you listen to it, you're not going to understand many things, okay? This is something that happens to everyone. And what is more, you're gonna have the feeling that, oh my God, I'm gonna fail this, I'm terrible, you want to cry, you want to hit your head on the wall, okay? And all those kind of things. But stop it, okay? Do not panic. The first time is a general impression, okay? A general listening for you to get the main idea, okay? But when it comes to feeling the specific details or the specific information, that's when the second listening or the third listening comes in, okay? So try to relax if you don't understand absolutely everything because it's normal, okay? Make sure you take as much as you can, make sure that you get as much information as you can, and the second and the third time will help you to do the rest. Number 7 is do not panic if there is a long period or a long gap. What do I mean by that? Sometimes we are listening, okay, and then we have questions that are related to what we are listening to, and basically we just listen and answer the question, listen and answer the question. But at times there might be longer gaps of information that do not have any questions to be answered. And what happens when we spend some time and we don't find the correct question that goes with that piece of information, we freak out. We start with all the negative thinking, oh my God, I got lost, and now what? This listening is over, I'm going to fail, and all these things, okay? But you need to stop, okay? Remember, at times it's possible that there is some information that won't have questions. So just don't panic that maybe at times you might have longer periods of time with no questions, okay? If you do get a little bit lost, which is also possible, try to find keywords in the previous question that you answered and the next question. So for example, if you have just answered a question about a supermarket and you see that your next question is about a school, okay, pay closer attention to the listening and try to identify words in connection with the world of schools, because you know it's your next question, okay? So try to identify those keywords and try to reconnect and continue from there. And number 8 is do not expect to hear the exact words, okay? What do I mean by that? Obviously, when we are doing more basic listenings, 99% of the times, okay, we're going to hear a word that is identical to the word on my paper. Okay, so it's simply, I hear a word, and if that word is in my paper, that is the right answer. Okay, obviously in more advanced listenings, this is not the case. Okay, because what happens is you might hear something, okay, but on the activity, you might have a synonym or a way to paraphrase the same idea, but obviously it's not exactly the same. Okay, so pay really close attention to those synonyms or the same way of expressing the same thing. For example, you might hear in the listening a lady saying, I really hate my job, but in your listening activity you might read, Mary is not fulfilled at work. Okay, so as you can see, to be not fulfilled can be synonym or can be similar to hate something. Okay, so do not expect to hear the same word, and if you do, pay extra attention as well, because sometimes when it's exactly the same word, it might be a trick. Okay, it might be a little bit deceiving to make you feel confused, because yes, they might have used the same word, but maybe in the listening it was in the positive and in your activity is in the negative, so it's totally the opposite idea. Okay, so pay extra attention to these things. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember, listening is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, so make sure that you do your groundwork, that you practice every single day, and that every single day you listen to something in English, no matter what it is. It can be an audiobook, a podcast, a radio program, it can be your favorite TV show or your favorite film. It doesn't really matter, as long as you practice and as long as you are constant. So what about you? What do you do in order to improve your listening skills? Do you watch any TV shows, any films? Do you use any websites, any audiobooks? What are your strategies in order to improve your English? Well, please leave your comments down there and then I'll make sure to read them. If you like this video, if you found it useful, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram for shorter videos with tips and tricks on how to improve your English. See you there. Bye bye.